I have Marty joining me here to talk about Coinecta and give us some updates around the project, what's going on. We have the FISO, the Fair Initial Stake offering, going on at the moment as well. Something I really enjoy and is always good for the community to have, especially for the stake pool operators. Marty, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey, Pete. Thanks for having me again.
All right, so let's get into the details of this FISO and how it's all working. And I love ISPOs, initial stake pool offerings, but this one's a little bit different compared to one of those.
Anyone who's familiar with an ISPO, typically you're gonna stake to a stake pool that the project creates, and they'll collect your ADA, and you'll get their token in exchange. So the FISO that we're doing, it's a little bit different than that. FISO stands for Fair Initial Stake Pool Offering. You're going to get to keep all the ADA, and then you also get the Connect token as a reward for staking to the FISO approved pools. In addition to that, the way that we calculate the rewards is set up so that if you delegate to smaller stake pools, you actually get a greater number of Connect tokens for the same amount of stake.
Very good. And how are the numbers looking at the moment? People jumping in, the stake pool operators seeing the benefits of this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you take a look on the FISO dashboard on the Coinecta website, you'll see, some of the stake pools started with a couple million stake, and they're now over 5 to 7, 8 million.
Wow. Okay.
So it's actually been, and the FISO hasn't even started. It starts, I think when's the next epoch rollover? Tomorrow or the next day? I guess it depends when you publish this.
Yeah, it's a couple of days from now.
Couple of days from now. So yeah, anyway, once the FISO starts, we're just coming up to the beginning, and there's already quite a significant amount of ADA staked that wasn't in those stake pools before. So
now, how long is the FISO for? How long are people expected to delegate for?
It's going to be 15 epochs. It doesn't matter which epoch you start, though, because the reward calculation counts by an epoch basis. So even if you're like 5 late or whatever, it won't impact you. You'll still be able to capture the rewards for the last 10 epochs. So it's I think it's around mid-January or end of January will be the last day.
Okay, that's not too long. A lot of these ISPOs or FISOs go for a lot longer, so it's quite a short amount of time. So I like that as well.
One of the reasons for that is because as we're going to be launching other projects through the platform, we'd like to be able to allow them to run their own FISOs. So I wouldn't want ours to overlap with some of those. So this is just part of the reason.
So projects would that join the Launchpad would actually have an option for a FISO as well.
Yeah, we'd like to do FISO as a service. We'd also like to consider doing ISPO as a service in the future. So we'll need some stake pools to partner up with to make that offering. So there will be some relationships to build over time here.
Cool, brilliant. Now, we're after this FISO period to mid-January, essentially. When do we see our Coinecta tokens? Would there be a token generation event after that, or it's a little bit later?
So the actual IDO is going to take place this month in November, and that'll be the TGE. So the sale will conclude at the end of the month, and we'll launch the token, I believe, a day or two after the sale concludes. So it won't be much time. So the FISO will still be running for some time after that, and I believe we are going to release the tokens about 3 weeks after the FISO concludes. You'll be able to go to Coinecta's website and claim your tokens that way. I should mention at this point, we'll also support Optium bonds. So if you've borrowed your stake, you can still claim that those Connect tokens through your borrowed stake. So you'll be able to do that on the platform as well.
You might want to explain Optium bonds just quickly for some of the audience members that don't know what they are.
To my understanding, an Optium bond allows you to rent somebody else's ADA for the purposes of staking it. And so without owning that ADA, without having that, you can pay somebody else for the time that you're going to stake it. So let's say it costs you less than the ADA reward or about the same as the ADA reward, you can say that the Connect token that you get as a bonus is an additional amount that you would make. So Optium bonds give you that option.
Now, with the whole Coinecta ecosystem, I know there's the cross-chain background because it's come over from Ergo and all the work that you've done over there. Are we going to see any activity from the Ergo ecosystem or any other cross-chain activity in general?
That's the plan for sure. We'd like to be able to facilitate that. This arose from actually projects who were going through the ErgoPad Launchpad requested that we also help them run their Cardano project launch. So that's kind of what inspired us to create Coinecta. And also the fact that ErgoPad is going to be used as a guard for Rosenbridge. We'll have an opportunity to directly provide liquidity to the bridge through that functionality. So it gives us an opportunity if somebody wants to launch a token that can be utilized both on Ergo and on Cardano. We'll be able to facilitate that. We'll help them build their tokenomics and make it make sense. So it's a very exciting opportunity for us.
That is pretty cool. I didn't realize projects on the Ergo side were looking to cross over to Cardano as well, but it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, especially with EDUTXO as the base for both chains, and just sharing the ecosystem, give you an opportunity to grow together. Those of you who like proof of work over proof of stake or vice versa can choose which side you like for the same project.
Right, that's pretty exciting. Are there any partnerships that you guys have managed to line up since the last time we spoke?
Yeah, besides the Optium that we've previously mentioned, we've partnered with CRCI, which is they offer quite in-depth analysis of projects that launch on Cardano. So they'll look at what the white paper says, what the team's developed, what's available in terms of like open source code that you can see, and just basically an analysis of what have they promised, what do they seem to be capable of delivering, how far have they come, things like that, and just a very in-depth analysis, and then that's broken down into a scorecard. So with their partnership, we'll be able to offer these scorecards to investors, so you get a little bit more information beyond just what the team puts out. You get a little bit of a trusted in-depth analysis. We've partnered with Xerberus, and they do actually on-chain analysis. So they look at, this will be more after an IDO happens. You'll be able to see, did the token get distributed as was promised? What are the on-chain metrics looking like? And Xerberus will have like a little card on the project page showing sort of does it meet those criteria as well. So we're very excited for those partnerships because, in any way that we can provide more transparency and better analysis of how these projects are doing, I think that gives investors a lot more opportunity and safety as well.
I love that. I didn't realize that CRCI give ratings and scorecards for white papers or whatever it is. So I'd love to see that in action. I have to check it out. I didn't realize that. And I've seen the Xerberus team in action, like live in Discord servers, absolutely drilling the team leads to find out where tokens are going, etc. So I've seen them like really break down and analyze projects. So it's really good to know that you've got a partnership with them as well.
Yeah, it's great to see, the accountability. I think it's necessary. You don't want a team to say, our team tokens are locked for 2 years, but really they're just dumping behind the scenes, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's the biggest fear, and things like Xerberus will allow us to make sure that even though we're using smart contracts to lock those tokens, once they're out in the ecosystem, we'll have proof of what happened. So I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, even with smart contracts or whatever, a lot of people don't know what's happening. They just go, oh yeah, smart contracts are vesting period, or as SafeMoon said, the liquidity was locked forever. It wasn't. So having an extra pair of eyes that actually understands all that and being able to check and verify and validate what they're saying is actually absolutely crucial, I think.
100%, yeah.
Now, what about yourselves? Are CRCI doing a analysis of Coinecta's tokens, and Xerberus doing it as well as a proof of concept?
That's a good question. We have spoke to CRCI about doing that, and of course Xerberus after the sale. So I would like to do that. I just don't know if we have time, as the token launches quite soon here. One of the nice things about the CRCI offering is that they'll give you a score, and obviously, everyone wants to get a good score off the bat. But let's say there were some areas where they didn't give you a good score. They also will tell you, this is why you don't have a good score here. This is what we think you can do to improve upon that. And then they'll reanalyze sort of the offering. So we definitely like to do that for Coinecta. I don't know if there's time, but now that you've said that, I'll ping them and see if we can get something quick here.
Okay.
Put our money where our mouth is.
Exactly. It's kind of like a security audit for smart contracts. Like if you go to CertTech or something like that, that your security rating actually continuously updates. So having to see that over time and to see what's affecting it and what's happening is a really good thing to see. So having the index for yourselves, I think, is a really good indicator of how strong your Launchpad is too. So give them a poke, see if they can get it done for you.
That's a great point.
Now, with the token itself, the CNCT, the Coinecta token, what's the utility of that? I'm assuming it's a governance token. You can vote with it. Is there anything else behind it? And how does the Launchpad work with it? I'm assuming you might have to use it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's I think most tokens, if you're going to launch a token, it's important to have strong utility behind it. So, what the Coinecta token does is it allows you to stake the token and lock up your tokens for a given period of time, and that gives you a pool weight or a share of reserved allocation. Sometimes that will look like, if we did a pro rata round, it will mean that you don't receive as much of a refund in the event of an oversale. So, for instance, people with a higher pool weight will have 50,000 tokens reserved for them. If they invest in 100,000 tokens, their refund will only come out of the 50,000 above their reserved allocation. So they're guaranteed to get that 50K that they were told was promised to them. And then the refund calculation happens after everyone gets their guaranteed allocation. The other way that a pool weight or a staking tier can work is there could be a round that's specifically reserved to stakers, which maybe it has a lower price point than what the public round has. And there's other benefits too. We can offer, contests which are weighted more towards stakers or other benefits and like NFT drops, things like that. So I think the sky's the limit. The marketing team will have lots to offer in that respect. But the main utility is you get to reserve your spot in the reserved allocations.
All right. So overall goal and mission of Coinecta, you're going to allow projects to easily launch their tokens through the Launchpad and join your community and whatnot. Is there anything else that you need to add to this that people need to know about?
One of our goals with Coinecta is just to make sure that, when a team says that they're going to lock up their tokens for a year or have a 6-month cliff or something like that, and then those tokens are going to be distributed in a specific way, we want to handle that with smart contracts. We want to make sure that that's automated and that's automatically done when the contributions happen. So, you send your money to a smart contract, you receive your tokens or you receive a lockup vesting key, which you can redeem on chain. Everything should be decentralized. Everything should be done automatically. We want to remove the human element where, with humans, there's always the opportunity for corruption or even just negligence. I mean, laziness or just a misunderstanding of the communication on how things are going to be, or somebody doesn't meet the expectation. Or let's say one individual of a team decides to leave and takes the tokens with them or does something malicious. So what we want to do is build a launchpad that eliminates that as much as possible, even eliminates the potential for that as much as possible, so that regardless of what happens or what human element could manipulate a situation, everything that's promised in the white paper and everything that's covered by smart contracts is automated. And that's sort of why we use crypto, I think, a lot of us, is because we don't want the human corruption to be an opportunity or an option. So we want to take advantage of the tools that Cardano has provided with their very good smart contract design. With Haskell, which has guaranteed finality on smart contracts. They're going to work if you see, on Ethereum, sometimes a smart contract will behave in an unexpected way. Whereas on Cardano and UTXO, you can see what will come out at the end before you put your money in, right? So we want to take advantage of that technology and automate the Launchpad process as much as possible. And that's kind of what I think we want people to know about Coinecta. We're doing things differently to protect investors and automate everything as much as possible.
That's brilliant, Marty. All right. I'm looking forward to everything here. I'll grab the details for the IDO itself. That's coming up pretty soon too. So I didn't realize that was all coming up just around the corner. So I'll keep an eye out for all that. I'll put it in the show notes for anyone else that's interested in it as well. And the FISO, easiest way to join and be a part of the ecosystem.
Absolutely. And we've just released an article outlining the IDO details. So you can check that out.
Brilliant. I will put that in the show notes for everyone. Okay. Thanks, Marty, for joining me again on this episode. And looking forward to seeing what you guys launch for your Launchpad very soon.
Thanks for having me again. Take care, Pete.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.